Hey, welcome back. Welcome, Bay Area besties, and hello, YouTubers. Just flipped the switch to go live, and not just a minute before, my beloved cat created a large crash out in his spacious catio and uh, loud breaking sound. And I went to check on it, and my beloved one of a kind cat just did that cat thing and knocked my favorite coffee cup off of the banner or banister that he was on and broke it into a billion bits. So irreplaceable coffee cup, custom painted. So uh, I'm kind of broken up by that, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to teach today. No, wait, I think I'll develop a little character and continue on. Anyway, he's quite proud of what he did, and he suffers from zero shame or guilt. And I looked him square in the eye and he said, I'm being a cat. So the purpose of today's class is to be authentically you. And if you need to break something on occasion in order to self-express, then that's what we do. No repression in this class. Anyway, my name is Greg for the YouTubers. We have 1,200 subscribers now. Sunday, we do some self-care yoga because all of us are sore as hell from having a long week of life and work and exercise and school and all of our responsibilities. So we spend today, because of other life responsibilities, today we'll do 30 or 40 minutes of a little bit of joint juice and a couple of beautiful restorative poses, and we'll meditate a little bit. Anyway, I'm simulcasting from Concord, California, and I've been doing yoga for 50 years now, and it really helps to calm the soul and uplift the spirits. And when life serves you up a shattered coffee cup, we don't cry over it. We realize there's more where that came from. Today's theme is there's more where that came from. Okay, we'll move our head around. 1, 2, 3. This class is really designed, especially for people that are older than maybe 40 or 50, or older than that need to move and groove and get their body back. Other way, I have hundreds, thousands of personal testimonials from humans that I've watched over the years engage the practice and start to regain their mobility, their life, their well-being. 6, 7, 8. Now, believe it or not, it's a yoga pose just to relax your head down and close your eyes, not to force your head down. Stretches the back of your neck. While you're doing that, you still can keep your spine upright, firm. And if you're brand new and sitting on the floor is miserable, I'm sitting on a big blue cushion that really helps Okay, now we'll do a little bit of shoulders. 1, 2. These are very simple human movements, and even though they're simple, if you put them in a sequence, they're quite dynamic. And if you can't do them, you can approximate them. If you need to sit on a chair while you're doing this, you're welcome. This is yoga for everybody. Other way. As much as this is a physical practice, it's an emotional, psychic, spiritual practice of just being and accepting this moment and where we're at. 7, 8. I have a pretty wide wingspan, so I'm going to move to the center. Up your back. All these movements are progressive, meaning you can start small and let them build up to where they'll naturally go. If you're stiff and sore and Feeling locked up in your body, this is a good tribe to join, a good place to be. This time we'll chant Om after we get to the top and inhale. And if you're a praying person, or whatever your metaphysical angle is, we will withdraw within and issue blessings and good vibes to all beings everywhere, always. Each one of us is a pebble thrown into a pond. May our impressions moving out into the world be loving and kind and intelligent. Good job. Little baby twist. Just going to stretch up. If you're very tight, you're leaning back, arms barely go up. Just do your best. Stretch up. Maybe just a little rocking side to side. Again, if you're 20 years old, if you're a ballerina, if you're a professional hip hop dancer, if you are Cirque du Soleil, thank you for coming in and joining. We need your vibe. But the vast demographic are people looking to start to move and groove again. Turn left, little twist. Now it's not the size of the pose that matters, it's the quality of it. Close your eyes. Every pose is a prayer in my estimation. This is yin yoga. When you stop, pause, feel into it, let it sink in. This begins to slow down the chattering, the noise of the mind. Good inhale together. Exhale. Oh, come on out. Switch the cross. Now I know if you're brand new, of the 1,000 subscribers, many are brand new, and they're just, if you sit up on a blanket while you're sitting on the floor, it raises your behind and takes some of the pressure out of the ankles, knees, and hips, and allows this begin to release open again. Good. If you can only get your knuckles on your head, you're moving. Up you go. Inhale. Turn right. Relax your hands. Let your hands help, but not force a twist. This arm behind this right one can push into the floor and rotate my hips forward, bring length to my spine, support. Let thinking slow down. If you're watching this on Sunday, Sunday's a great day to disengage, quit trying to do everything, let the universe take over. Good, and we'll come out. This, of course, is good for those of us who think that we are kind of running the whole show and that without us, it would go to hell in a handbasket. Maybe just by letting go, it'll allow things to happen in our favor. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gentle shaking. Again, if you've been on the planet 40, 50, 80 years, your paws are probably, you feel it. Yeah. But if we keep them moving, keep circulation, if we live right, breathe right, act right, think right, love right, then we can heal up and down with your paws. And good news, you don't have to be perfect because no one is, but we can get a little better every day. Cup your hands at your heart. Let's feel grateful, thankful, and appreciative for all that we have, for all that we've had, and for all that we will have. Good. Now we're going to go through a little couple minute sequence of getting our hips and ankles and knees and lower back to release open. And I understand if you're new, and I'll give you a ton of options, but I'm just sitting with my legs crossed. And if I was new, I would lean way over on my left so that my right leg could sort of unweight. And then I would fold my right shin under like this. And if I was new, this would be very tight. And this could be an option, just kind of going, wow, this really needs to open up again. And if you can, I'm putting my hands behind me instead. And then I'm going to lift up my hips to stretch the front of my hips, my right quad and hip flexor, chest, and this is a real variable. Lift up. Good. And then sink down. Now, if your hands are over here because this is really tight, it's okay. You just push in and start to lean over to your right, getting your upper body to and your torso to lean in a lateral plane over to your right. This is a great way to wake up this range of motion with a side bend. If you can, bring both hands up and lean over to the right. If you want to keep your left hand down as an assist to help you feel more stable and balanced, that's absolutely fine. Yesterday I practiced on the drums for 3 hours, hit 100 golf balls, rode my bike, taught a yoga class, lived my life, and today I get to relax a little bit. Good. Come on up. All right. Then take this out and then fold your left shin under. It's okay if you lean way over to the right while this begins to soften up. And if you could bring your spine upright, you do that. Both hands behind your head. And based on my construct, I'm going to use my right hand to support and soothe my side stretch today. And that's okay. I make no claims about being the most flexible person. I do make a claim of being myself and being where I'm at and wanting to work at my current level of ability. I also claim the ability to describe these poses in a lot of different ways. So that's my angle. It's like, try this, and this, but try something, do something, get in the game. And just being in the pose for a moment allows the body to breathe and relax in to it. Good. Now I'm going to bring my hands behind me, and then this is one of the most crucial of all poses to reclaim ourself. Lift up. This is very tight for most adults. Good. Sink down. We'll bring this leg back out. Now I am going to employ some of my yoga props. I paid for them. I might as well use them. Here's 2 blocks. His name is Blanket A. Her name is Blanket B. They are a team. But here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Mr. Bolster. Mr. Bolster is a large yoga pad. I love him a lot. We've been through a lot together. And In my studio, we had 50 of these. I've given most of them away because of the pandemic, but now I have a whole new thriving gig of people. It's really fun, but I like to use the bolster for child's pose. What's child's pose? Child's pose is two blankets like that, or a big cushion, or a couple pillows from your bed, or just any big cushion. And then I get up. Now, if you are not a 4-year-old, having your knees on the floor may be sensitive. That's why I'm on this cushion. So I'm widening my knees out, my feet are together, and if I'm very tight, I can't go down very far. So I bring my elbows here. And again, I just let body weight and gravity sink my hips back. So being high on your elbows is the way to tolerate the pose. And one way to tolerate is just by not doing it as long as other people might do it. After a while, this can shove under to just south of my belly button. And this keeps my hips elevated, takes pressure out of my knees, and yet allows me to sink in and relax. Of course, if you're wildly flexible, your knees are wide, your feet are together, and your crotch is all the way down, and you just want to lay it out. It's groovy. We'll do this for about 2 minutes on each ear. I'm starting on my left ear. This, of course, is restorative yoga. You may have heard of that, and I hope you've been doing it. It's really, really profoundly healing to all the layers of our body. All right, and now I'm going to shift over to my other ear. Great neck stretch, especially when supported on the bolster. Okay, my friends, I'm going to press up out of that. I'm just going to kneel temporarily. And I understand, since I teach yoga to a lot of people that are 50 plus, that just to kneel like this may not currently be in your toolkit. But if you're on a softer surface like your bed, for example, perhaps you can get into this position with your knees wide and let your ankles, knees, and hips take weight like they're supposed to. Maybe your hands can even get behind, and there can be this expression of your hips up, which is a great way to re-enliven our spine. Good, sink down. Now, I'm taking this bolster off to the side for a moment, and we're going to do a super essential movement, cats and cows. Very natural, very rhythmic, very organic. See, this is the kind of stuff you can start even from ground zero, even if it's been 5 or 10 or 20 years or 2 days, you can join into this. No one's going to judge you. No one's going to compare you to other people. You just do what you can, and that's all you can be asked to do. Now, my friends, I'm going to do a sequence, and in our practice today, this will be the sequence that has any degree of rigor or stress to it, I guess you might say. And of course, that's relative to where you're at in your body, but this is an impossibly crucial sequence. And I come forward, just do what you can. My knees and my feet are hip distance apart. And I fold my toes under and I push back, if you're able, into the most important of all yoga poses, squat. This pose comes exceedingly natural if you watch little kids. When they go pick up, they drop their ball or obviously their iPad now. Instead of bending over to get it, they just collapse straight down into a squat because it's the most natural way to get down to the earth. But most people have lost this, especially in the West. So if you can't squat, you can lay on your back and pull your knees into your chest. But I try to do this every day for a couple times to enliven my feet, stretch ankles, knees, and hips, lengthen my back. The benefits of squatting are legion, especially on this soft surface. I go deep into my calves, especially my lower calf muscles, Achilles. Now, what's interesting about doing it on this softer surface, if you're able, and you might want to support yourself with your hands, you can gently, or not so gently, drop back onto your hips. And then we do staff pose, meaning I extend my legs out, I walk my hips forward, I get my spine more upright. If I'm capable of lifting my arms, I do that. And then I really stretch up and lean forward and extend my legs and activate my feet and relax my shoulders. Good, then the sequence continues by bringing my hands behind. I use my fists because I'm always using my wrists. So using my fists brings a strength and firmness to my wrists. My feet come in, and then this crucial pose. And I sink down. And now all we do is we just reverse the sequence. And this is my fountain of youth sequence. My feet come in. Now I understand you're 60 and you're just joining us, and it's like you can't do this sequence, but you can begin to approach it. So I just bring my hands in. I can barely lift up, and it's like, oh, that's all I can do. Then I just go over my feet. Do it. Then I sit on my ankles with my dorsiflexed ankles with my toes folded under. Remember, I said this is the portion of the class with the most rigor. So for me, sitting like this with my ankles dorsiflexed rather than plantar flexed with my toes folded under, really a challenge for me. Then I turn my feet over, which gives momentary relief. Like that. I lean back if I can, and then you lift up. And then we sink down and we enjoy a couple of concluding cats and cows. And if you did that sequence with me, you've gone a long way toward bringing health and regeneration back to your body. If that's really easy and you're laughing at us and you're 20 years old, and that's great. You know what? One of these days, we all find ourselves where we're at. Okay, my friends, now I want to have fun with a particular pose today with a lot of relaxing potential in it, especially after that more rigorous sequence. And for this one, this is called, well, it's called many things, but just laying on our back with our legs elevated. So one way to do it is, I mean, theoretically, it could just be a big pillow underneath your legs like that, underneath my calves. So here's one variation. Boy, nothing wrong with this. The lift of the legs relaxes the hips, releases the pelvis, lets the lower back relax. Now, say you wanted a more exotic, a more extravagant, a more elaborate version of it. You could put, remember these two blocks that I mentioned earlier? You could put two blocks like that, and now your calves would be higher. Yes? Calves for higher. Oh my God, you think this is positively a revelation. It's an epiphany. It's an epiphany. And then your legs would be more unweighted, more release of the hips down into the blue cushion. And if you happen to have a couch or a recliner or a big chair nearby, guess what I do? I could come over in like this. I could bring my calves up here like that. I can, now my legs are really lifty. Now here's the sine qua non for my friends who speak Latin. I could put my butt on top of the blanket. My calves are rested, and this is the elaborate version of this. So I just gave you 3 to 10 options, but whatever we're going to do it. Now the blanket's not underneath my kidneys, it's underneath my sacrum. That allows my pelvis to tilt back and down, releases my lower back, and this then is what stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system in relaxing that endless release of cortisol and adrenaline. Anyway, I know you've done something, even if you're just lying on your back, and we'll do this this will be our big, deep restorative pose today. 5 or 6 minutes. Enjoy. I will. This deliberate healing that we're doing is really smart. We can't just keep burning the candle all the time. I'm bringing my breathing all the way down to my belly button, starting to engage deeper diaphragmatic, still relaxed, but just deeper, longer, more full, thorough breathing, centered more down toward my belly button. You can fall asleep in this pose if you want. I'll wake you up in 5 minutes. You'll be glad you did. Okay, my friends, about another minute in this one. All right, now I'm just gonna bring my feet forward so they're on the couch, the cushion, the edge of the recliner. It feels good. It changes the position of my hips. I can rock my hips forward and back a little bit, bring some soothing relief to my much used lower back. Now I bring my knees in even further. I'm not going to overdo this today. I'm just going to draw my knees in to a little ball or a little egg. It feels really good with my hips lifted as they are and my back supported. and I can just hug my knees in. This is the same essential position as squatting, but it's even squatting on your back if you can't squat. And maybe your knees don't come anywhere near in as far. You're kind of in this realm, but at least you're in the realm, kids. If you can reach your elbows up over your knee and squeeze yourself into a smaller ball, that's fine. Now, to conclude our class, I am just going to shift my body a little bit. Now, I'm going to take a blanket. This is very, very, very important, my friends. I'm going to take a blanket and I'm going to roll it up into a tube and put it underneath my neck for the finishing twisting sequence. Very important that the neck is supported. Now, I just draw my knees in, and I know if you're tight, your knees only come into about here. I'm well aware of this. I've watched bodies since the turn of the century, and the knees barely come in, and when you twist, they barely fall over to the side. They tend to widen out, and they tend to move, the knees tend to move away. So what we're working on is getting the knees in a little more, which we just worked on, obviously, right? And then I'm bringing my knees down together and in toward my chest into a finishing twist. When the spine twists, it gets shorter. Therefore, the neck has to be supported. It must be supported. And as the knees drop over to one side, the torso opens up on the opposite side. This then is restorative twist. And it's a huge variable. Make it work for you. Find where you fit. Doing it on a soft surface, your bed or a cushion, is incredibly beneficial. 2 minutes on. For me, this is a twist over to my right. Upper body to the left. Very healing, very patient, very calming. All right, now I'm going to inhale my knees back up, set my feet down. Since I'm on my blue cushion, I'm shifting my body over to the other side, shifting the blanket and making sure it's really built up, offering a lot of lift and support. I don't need it now, but when I go into the twist, the spine shortens, and if the head's not supported, it's not a good pose. Knees come in as far as they will. Maybe you hug them in, kind of squeeze them together, let them drop in the other direction. Support your head. Let your upper body release opposite to your legs, with support, with time, with patience. Okay, friends, exhale all the air out. Inhale the knees back up. And then, as the friendly tribe we are, we will conclude in Shavasana pose for a couple minutes. That's just laying on our back, chilling out to the extreme. And 5 minutes of this will bring us about a month's worth of psychic, emotional, physical, spiritual healing. If you're brand new, I'm quite serious. You get 5 minutes of absolute blissful nothingness. Okay, friends around the world, start to breathe back toward your body. That felt really good. I'm delighted to share that with you. We're going to breathe back into our skin. Then we'll wiggle our fingers and toes, circulate super feel good around our body. Good, we'll curl onto our side for half a minute. We are calm and peaceful souls. Everything is always working out for us, and all things work together for good for those who love God or good. Good, we'll sit up together. Having come full circle with a good Sunday curriculum of healing and peace and calm, hands to the heart. We are much more one than we are separate, so we draw into that beautiful unity of being, the place of perfect peace, wisdom, and healing. And all together around the world we say, Namaste. Love, please, peace, bliss to all beings everywhere. Thanks for joining in around the world. YouTubers, like and subscribe, share it with a friend, especially if they're older than 50 and they're sore and they want to feel good. You can spread some healing and bring a little heaven on earth. We thank you, YouTubers. Carol, great to see you, my dear. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining in. Bye, everybody.